What's good, everybody? Greg Hickman here. And in this episode, we are diving into the topic why starting from scratch is actually killing your agency. Let's get it going. For 3 years, my agency built funnels and automation systems for the biggest names in marketing today. Since then, I've transformed that agency into a hyper-profitable training and consulting business. While everyone is out there talking about scale like it's some sort of destination, we'll be asking the real question. How do you transform your business into a more scalable model using the knowledge, skills, and expertise that you already have? This podcast is here to give you the answer. Join me and follow along as I learn, apply, and share the strategies I'm using to build my multi-million-dollar business. My name is Greg Hickman, and welcome to Scalable. All right, guys, welcome back. And like I said, we're going to be talking about this notion of starting from scratch. Now, as an agency owner or a service provider, freelancer, you may have been in a situation, or maybe you currently are in a situation where every time you get a new client, it's like starting from scratch. And the processes that you need to execute on to solve their problem, the solution looks different. Maybe the problem that is coming in looks different. And thus, every time you get a client, you're sort of starting from scratch and you don't really build up momentum towards anything, right? And so kind of another quote in one of the more recent episodes, I talked about this book, The Road Less Stupid. And he basically, in this book, says the most expensive part of change is whether it's external change or internal change, is the inevitable loss of momentum, right? And so the most expensive part of change, whether external change or internal change, is the inevitable loss of momentum, right? And so in an agency, and if you're doing unique custom services every single time, like every time you get a new client, what they get is different than what the next client would get, then typically you're going to never even be able to achieve momentum in the first place, right? And that's why oftentimes you hit a wall when trying to grow, and you don't have the ability to hit the revenue numbers that you'd like because you just can't serve enough clients in any given window of time to effectively reach those numbers, right? Like in order to hit your numbers, you need to be able to be selling 10 clients a month. But because every single time a client comes in, the first 5 of those clients are all unique, right? So you're doing unique things for each and every different client. You never get to build a system or any sort of standardization or any sort of repeatability in your delivery process that really puts you stuck in fulfillment. You're drowning in fulfillment, and you're at 5 clients when you need 10 to hit the revenue goals that you actually need, right? And so he also continues to say in this book, the problem with always starting over is that you're always starting over, right? The problem with always starting over is that you're always starting over. So again, if you've hit the ceiling, and maybe you haven't even realized you've hit the ceiling. It's one of those glass ceilings where you're like, man, like we can't seem to get to, $30K a month in revenue or what have you. Then the likelihood, first thing I would say is go look at, well, how unique is your fulfillment, right? Do you deliver the same thing for each and every client? Or is it like starting from scratch and, with a clean slate? The more of a clean slate it is for you, the more likely it's going to be that you won't be able to grow fast, grow at all, and hit the goals that you really set out for yourself. And so I remember like when we started, we were doing a lot of custom projects, and you can solve some of these problems by hiring early on, but I think very quickly you realize, but by having all of these people, if every single project is unique, then the types of people that I need, actually the skill sets that they need to have probably needs to be more general, right? Like you need to go hire that badass person because they can do a wide range of things, so that just in case, client A comes in and they need one thing, well, you can give them to that badass person, but then client B, C, and D come in and they still have some skill sets to go give to that person. But now that person is a little bit overwhelmed, right? And they're doing a little bit of different stuff for each and every one of those clients, A through D. And so the amount of time or the amount of force needed in this book, he goes on, I have the book somewhere on my Kindle. I would pull it out and give you the author's name. So I apologize again, but the book is The Road Less Stupid, linked up in the show notes. And he says the amount of brute force needed to get the merry-go-round started again is monumental in comparison to the minimal effort needed to keep it maintained and spinning. So think of that, a merry-go-round, a huge merry-go-round. You're trying to really get it going yourself and really pull it, start pushing. From a standstill, it's going to be really, really hard and to get that thing moving. And that's exactly what you're doing every single time you get a new client, that you're allowing them to have a custom arrangement, a custom solution. And you're going out there and you're, cherry picking some different solutions. And also you not having a specific avatar, right? If you serve chiropractors, agency owners, dentists, nonprofits, likely they all don't have the exact same problems, and how you execute on it is going to be different, right? And so every single one of those clients, you're manually starting to get that merry-go-round moving, which is a lot of effort, right? Like I would gather that the amount of energy, effort, gas, power, and fuel to get a ship like the Titanic to go from a standstill to moving was a lot difficult than for it to compared to it just to maintain moving at a particular speed through the ocean, right? Just like once you get that merry-go-round moving, when you add a new client or a new person hops into that merry-go-round, you can still maintain that momentum because you're already moving, right? Hey, we already know how to solve this problem. Merry-go-round keeps going. Hey, we already have a way to solve this problem. We have a system, we have a process, we have the right people in place to deliver on this exact solution that you actually need, Mr. or Mrs. new client, right? So you really got to ask yourself, starting from scratch right now, and depending upon where you're at in your business, when you first got started, it allowed for the flexibility for you to collect cash, right? But you're probably, if you've been around long enough in business long enough and you haven't drowned yet, you're probably stuck at a similar revenue, like a revenue kind of arena, whether it's like 20, 30, 40K. When it comes to smaller agencies that are getting started, usually they really start to feel the friction around that like 30 to 50K a month mark, where they're like, why is this not working? Why is this so difficult? Why, when I get a new client, my sales and marketing stop, right? Why am I doing everything manually? Often that's because you're starting from scratch every single time, and you're starting from scratch every single time because you're doing done for you generic services and you're going forward with a service menu. And oftentimes you're letting your client choose, right? You're letting them choose off of your menu what they would like. So right out of the gate, your client is in control of the entire relationship, which, remember, they came to you for your expertise. And before they even sign the contract, they're telling you what to do. I want these 3 services, not these other 5, right? That's what happens when you start from scratch every time. It's helpful in the beginning, but very quickly, it's the thing that is preventing you from hitting the numbers that you would like. So where in your business right now are you starting from scratch every single time you get a new client? We need to solve that. Now, if you want to start making that transition to what we call productize your business, simplify it, add a more scalable and leveraged business model to either transform your agency or to completely replace your done-for-you services, then we can help. We'd love to chat with you. You can click the link below. We have a free training. It's on demand. It's, you have 7 days to watch the training. It's not one of those funky webinars where we pretend like it's going to be live, but you have 7 days to watch this training. I'm going to dive deep into our method to help you make this transition from struggling agency doing done-for-you custom projects into a more scalable one-to-many model where your business works like a well-oiled machine, and that you have the time and freedom to actually like spend time with your family and take a vacation without bringing your laptop, right? So if that sounds good, visit system.ly/webinar, or you can click the link below in the show notes. We'd love to have you enjoy this training, see if it can help you. And if it does, at the end of that training, we'll invite you to a call where we can talk through and see if we can take our methodology, apply it to your business, and accelerate you into making this transition like we have with now hundreds of our clients. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. It's time to stop doing everything from scratch when it comes to serving your clients if you want to be more scalable and more leveraged, and you know where to go. And we'll catch you next time, and you have a great day. Hey, are you looking for that cool place to hang on the internet with all the people just like you? Well, I got it for you. If you want to learn the best strategies, tips, and tools to productize and automate your business, visit system.ly/community to join our free private community and continue the conversation. We'll see you there.